lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show coming to you live every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down 3 industry headlines and to provide some actual insight into how to navigate through any freight market that you may find yourself in, because shit changes all the time, you guys. No matter how perfect somebody might want to make it sound, it's just not reality, and you got to come up with solutions day in and day out. Back in Arizona, finally. It was awesome being out there on the road. Last week in Minnesota, spent some time with some family. Minnesota Trucking Association was on site there, and then I got to get out of town and go fishing for a couple of days, and we just absolutely slayed some bass up at my family's cabin up in northern Wisconsin. And yeah, it was good. Got back last night though, and we're ready to rock. You know, here we are. We're ready to go. We already got people in the audience. Dennis Everett's over on YouTube. Good morning, sir. Casey, good morning, sir. Let's fucking go. You are right. There we go. We got the first fuck in the first 60 seconds essentially today. But before we jump into anything, as always, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub. They're the ones who make this show possible every single day for you guys. Hit them up, vhubapp.com. Access to trailers is something that we all need, right? Whether you're shipper, broker, or carrier alike, you need access to trailers. That being said, if you're a small trucking company, you should never have to shut down your operation or a truck because your trailer is back in the shop there. So with what they have right now, and then frankly, whatchamacallit, brokers as well, you need to come up with a drop trailer solution. Talk about a way to separate yourself from your competition. I mean, every broker out there is offering the same service. They're all offering the same 20% discount and all that other stuff. Have some substance behind it. So with what we're working on right now, I'm going to add this up there. We got Glade Spring, Virginia and Paragould, Arkansas. They're both going to Orting, Washington, which is just outside of Tacoma. And the best part about all this, you guys, is you get paid $15.50 to do this. And this is on top of the revenue that you make on the freight that you put in the back of that truck. And then they have a round trip option for you right now, because they also have some capacity available in Olympia, Washington, heading down to Dallas, Texas. And again, you get another $550 for that reposition. So you're already at $2,100 right there if you were to grab one of these. And that's on top of the freight that you put in the back of that trailer. They also have some new ones out there. We have them down in West Palm Beach, Florida, going up to Messina, New York. And that's get paid $15.50 to move that trailer up there. And then my favorite city on earth, San Diego, the home of Ron Burgundy. They have them going over out into Texas right now, into Selma, Texas, and Laredo. You get paid $600 to reposition that. And again, you guys, we got to think outside the box. We got to think of solutions and everything for our customers. And this is exactly what they have over. Hit them up, vhubapp.com. Xavier Campos is already in the audience. He's my man over there, as well as my friend Stacy Steen. Hit her up as well. Michael Mojado, good morning, sir. Game time. Cody, what's up? Welcome back. Let's fucking go. You are right. Currently on a TIA committee, diving into the AB5. Is that where you are right now? Because that's ironically an article that I'm breaking down here this morning from Chris Burrows on transport topics. Samantha Jones, good morning. Good to see you in the audience. She's over at Rocket Shipping now. You guys, as you guys all saw, I met up with Gabe Pinkinen last week in Alexandria, Minnesota, for after I was on the Minnesota Trucking Association. He was up there, met him, had some lunch with him. He is the founder of Rocket Shipping. They're the LTL absolute savages. They own that market, in my opinion. They're a phenomenal company. B-Logis X, or sorry, I'm messing that up. LLC. Good morning. All right, we're at day 91, you guys. We're literally almost at the 100 live show mark here, which will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. How fucking crazy is that? But that is also a reminder that there is a truck parking issue in this industry, as well as a facilities issue. Again, I understand that there's multiple sides of this equation, but at the end of the day, no driver should ever not be able to use the bathroom or leave to be able to go use the bathroom. I just think that anybody out there, you would never put yourself in that situation. So why are drivers expected to deal with that stuff? And again, it's one of those situations. I'm not going to stop talking about this, guys, because as all of my content that I put out there, it's not about my vanity metrics, because if it was, I'd be talking about a lot more controversial stuff out there to get some clicks. And that's just not what it's about to me, because to me, it's about a couple of people out there helping them out with their business and helping them live out their American dream. Also, diesel, they'll update it again today. I know some people are trying to celebrate, and yes, it's great that it's starting to drop, but it's still at $5 a gallon, national average. Still up like $1.70 a gallon year over year. And you can't celebrate a historic drop if it was after a historic spike. I just don't see that that's any room for celebration. Yes, it's nice to see it come down, but I don't know why that's really a thing. Also, going to give a shout out. I got a couple of my buddies who are hiring right now reached out, and my man John Coleman with Heartland Logistics Group, they're hiring an office manager right now. Hit him up, John Coleman, on LinkedIn. You can DM him or visit shiplg.com to apply. Check that out. And then as well, I saw this morning my man Matt Hero with Fresh Freight is hiring in his Texas facility out there. So hit him up. Fresh Freight's very active on social media. They're very active on all things. But, I know Matt wouldn't mind you guys sending him a DM or else hit him up on their website, freshfreight.com. Yeah. So obviously I was out in Minnesota last week. It's good to be back home. But it's also really good to be out there and talking to other transportation professionals and kind of what they're seeing in the market and everything else. And, I just get so inspired when I'm out there talking to people, because, there's a lot of trucking company owners that I was talking to, and they're all very, they're cautiously optimistic, we'll call it, because obviously at the end of the day, fuel is always going to be their biggest expense. Insurance, there's a bunch of rising costs and everything that come along with it. But a lot of them are like, hey, we get it. The market's going to be the market. We just got to keep showing up. And, I think that's just like the main message that you have to, there's no perfect freight market. And I think that's what media at times wants to try and portray, there's a perfect way of doing. There isn't a fucking perfect way to do anything. The only perfect solution is showing up, and being there, because it's never going to be easy, right? If you want easy, it just doesn't exist. If you want to do anything great in life, it's going to come with a lot of adversity. It's going to come with a lot of challenges. And the fact of the matter is, you got to show up every single day and win the day. That's what you need to focus on. So regardless of the freight market, regardless of what you see out there, there is going to be a solution that someone's going to find. And you got to ask yourself this: is it going to be you, or is it going to be your competition that's finding those solutions? Because shit's going to go wrong, you guys. I talk to people a lot, whether it's my clients, whether it's friends of mine who own businesses and everything else. And it's a grind every single day, you guys. It's a grind. It's a lot of work, but someone's doing it. The freight is still moving. And I think that's one thing that you have to look at as an underlying factor right now more than ever, is that the freight is still moving. It's going to continue to move. And there's going to be a solution out there. There's going to be somebody out there who needs you to provide a service for them, but it's going to come with a lot of work. These one call closes, and the cold calling aspect of things and everything, it's not easy, but you have to do it, and you have to remove this facade that you're going to win all their business and do all these favors for these shippers, because frankly, I guarantee you couldn't fucking handle it if a shipper said, yeah, you know what? I have 100 truckloads I need picked up today. Here's all the lanes. I need this done today by 5. You couldn't fucking do it. So why do we go in with that mentality that we're going to solve all their problems for them? It's you got to be out there talking to them about if anything you offer even aligns with what they're looking for, because not every shipper is going to work with you. Hard reality for a lot of sales reps to accept in this industry. Not every shipper is going to work with you, but at the end of the day, you don't want that to happen anyways. So I think again, all things considered, current market outlook, I'm always going to be optimistic about this shit, because I've just been doing this for too long to not know that in any market shift, that's where all the opportunities are always going to lie, you guys. It's not when things are easy. There's nobody needs anybody when things are easy. It's when things are challenging, like right now. This is when you can really step up and start taking some market share from your competition that's sitting back and raising their white flag because they don't want to work hard and everything else. And yeah, so Let's see here. We got some articles to break down. A lot of stuff happening here. First article, kind of what Casey was saying earlier is he was at with the TIA committee diving into AB5, and that's the first article that we're going to break down today. This one was from ttnews.com, and it was actually written by my friend Chris Burrows, who is the VP of Government Affairs at the TIA. TIA is definitely an organization that if you're not involved in as a freight broker, you need to be. You need to reach out to them from an advocacy standpoint, from a like contracts alone as a broker, like the access of information that's out there. And then, you also get to work with me a little bit there because I work with Ben Kowalski and Nate Cross on some of their new broker success program coaching courses and everything. And, again, it's like the TIA has, they're a phenomenal organization. And again, if you're a broker and you're not a member of it, you need to be a member of them. Let me see. In June, the U.S. Supreme Court declined, as we all know, about AB5, which affects driver classification. Absent Supreme Court consideration of the case, the state of California may proceed with implementing with reclassifies, as we all know. Upon learning that AB5 was cleared from implementation, TIA and its members activated volunteer leaders to form a working group tasked with developing the next strategic action to be taken by the association. 3 subcommittees were formed to focus on the 3 main concerns our members see with the law. See, and again, like we were talking about, you guys, like AB5 doesn't just affect drivers. All right. There's going to be, I've already stated my case. Sorry, I'll get back to this. The first concern is the relationship between brokers and owner operators. While AB5 does not contain a business-to-business exemption, there is a 10-prong test that businesses must utilize for that exemption. This exemption allows business service providers who are established as a sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, LLP, or corporation to enter a contractual agreement with the business and maintain their current employment status. This exemption is viewed by our members as extremely narrow. The group aims to determine how this will impact our members in California that utilize owner-operators. For examples, are brokers going to be levied wage and hour violation fines for the utilizing of owner-operators? The second concern is how freight agents, independent contractors, will be impacted by AB5. Again, independent contractor is a very broad term out there. Many brokers use outside sales agents, and those agents operate under a broker's authority. These sales agents, like freelance riders, want flexibility in their work life. Exactly. It's often why they choose the employment path, this employment path in the first place. They have complete control over the day and the business activities. And in the terms of AB5, California will be utilizing what's known as an ABC test, a 3-factor test for determining worker classification that is different from a 10-pronged B2B exemption. The second requirement of the ABC test, which requires that the worker performs what is outside the usual course of the hiring entity's business, could affect the broker-agent relationship. While B2B exceptions should apply, the intent is not clear. The ramifications could completely overhaul why our agent-based numbers do business. Let me see here. The last concern is the potential impact to the overall motor carrier capacity in California. There are thousands of small trucking companies now faced with uncertainty over how they can keep their operating in the state. Limited capacity in the supply chain. Okay, let me see. The major supply chain disruptions are so okay. Saddling our motor carriers. Let us not forget that during the height of the COVID, there's the same truck drivers that continue. All right. So it also goes on to say the goal for the TIA working group and subcommittees is to provide resources for members to navigate through the AB5, promote coalition, building with industry stakeholders, and look at strategically what action the TIA could take at the state level to advocate for our members and prevent this from spreading throughout the country. TIA is genuinely concerned that this anti-business and anti-independent contractor law will be replicated elsewhere. There are several states, including New Jersey, that have already drafted language. And congressional efforts to push through the PRO Act would implement that on the federal level. Yeah, our association will continue to advocate for its members on this issue and all attempts to be the American dream. And that's exactly it. Again, this to me is it's good to see this because again, this was one of my biggest concerns with AB5 to begin with is it's not just independent contractors from the trucking companies' perspectives that are going to be affected by this. It's literally everybody else that is classified as an independent contractor, and it prohibits their ability to do business in it. I mean, yeah, Casey, that's not surprising at all that Illinois. So, I mean, essentially, you got to look at it like this. Bringing politics into this, you guys, you look at every single blue state that's out there, they will have some form of this legislation because it starts in California. California is always the melting pot for a lot of this legislation to come through. And when it comes through there, it's going to start going to other primarily blue states as well. I just absolutely despise the assault on small business that this is boiling down to, because that's all it is. And I love the TIA stance on here. I love that they put it out there. And again, like, this is going to affect freight brokers. That's why you need to get involved in an organization like the TIA or other groups that are out there to help with this stuff, you guys, because this is really, this could end very fucking badly, and I know I've stated this a lot in the past, and we broke down AB5 a lot, but from a freight broker's perspective, like, think about all the independent agents that are out there. Think about all the employees that are a 1099 sales rep for a company. Again, like, my old man was an owner op. He was an independent contractor. There was a reason why he was one, because he didn't want to fucking work for anybody. He wanted to make his own schedule. He wanted to do his own thing and then live his American dream. Like, I don't understand why we put confines on how, okay, before I go down this here, I understand the need for rules and laws and regulations. I'm not fucking ignorant to that. But why are we prohibiting people from doing their job? I always follow the money. I think, like, follow the money no matter what, because again, it's not like these people aren't paying taxes. Like, I'm technically a 1099 with a lot of my clients and stuff, right? Like, I'm my own business. I'm an S corp. I send all that out there. I'm not an employee of anybody. I work for myself. I pay taxes just like fucking everybody else. I actually pay taxes twice as a business. All right. I'm technically an employee of myself right now. All right. And I know, like, this wouldn't be affected under the AB5, but I'm just using that as an example. Like, when I was an LLC, when it was just me, I was still paying taxes. Now essentially what it is then when I switched to an S corporation, and that's essentially what, in my opinion, AB5 is geared towards, is to remove that, force them into an employee. So now the company has to pay employee taxes out there, and then the employee has to pay taxes as well. So it's just a double dip. That's what it is to me. It's a fucking absolute assault on small business. They are literally trying to, they literally are saying, fuck you as a business owner. You need to go work for somebody else because we need to tax you more. That's what it boils down to me. There's no other fucking way around this. Because, like, why now? After all of this time, why right now? It's a fucking money grab, and that's how it's always going to be. And it's, as a freight broker, this is going to affect you. All right. So do your best to get involved with, if you're not in the TIA, for example, get involved with the TIA or call your local officials, because this will affect your business. And it's only a matter of time before it comes to your state, and then and if it gets to the federal level, we're all fucked. Like, again, you gotta look into this stuff, you guys, because it's not just about truckloads, Like, I would love to make, sit up here and just be like, oh, it's just trucking. And it's not just about truckloads. It's not just about quoting customers. Like, there are a lot of outside forces that will affect your business. And if you're not aware of a lot of these things and doing your research about that, it's only a matter of time before it comes to bite you in the ass. And that's kind of where we're at with AB5. But stand behind it, man. Get involved with some of these organizations. Make your voice heard. Remember, the government works for us, you guys, not the other way around. I think that's kind of getting lost out there right now in today's society. The government works for us as the citizens, not the other way around. That article, ttnews.com, perspective, taking industry action on AB5, written by my friend Chris Burrows with the TIA. And as always, you guys, I'll put the links to all of these articles out there on the YouTube channel, The Freight Coach, as well as the podcast, Coffee with the Freight Coach, where the audio-only version of this will be uploaded to. Let me see here. Getting caught up on some comments. Sonny Sharma, Orange Shirt Gang. Zach Williams, what's up? Zach Williams with SPI Logistics. They're a partner of the Freight Coach as well. You guys, if you're interested in becoming a freight agent, you need to reach out to SPI Logistics and hit them up, you guys. They have a phenomenal structure out there for their technology and everything. And it's literally as Mike, who is on the podcast, I think I forget the episode that he was on, Mike McKeelick, he put, it's just a license to print money. It's one of my favorite lines out there. Hit him up, you guys, SPI3PL.com. You can hit up Zach. You can DM him. He'll put you in contact with the right people. Danny York, that's right. I don't know what that was pertaining to because I wasn't caught up on the comments, but thank you. Cody, yeah, Burrows is the man. Papa Freight in the audience. What's up, brother? Good to see you out here, Steven. Cody Miller, freight enthusiast. Let's fucking go. Cody Kohler, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Bill McIntyre, I'm glad you see value in this stuff, man. That's what it's all about. Let me see here. If a Canadian carrier delivers to me in Cali and we deliver to their BOL, which sometimes demanded us, then us as an agent fail the test. But if we receive the freight and deliver on our BOL, then we pass the test. This is ugly for it. Yeah. Here's another prime example, you guys. Hear from the people in the industry. All right. Lucas, let's have a huge Monday. Amen to that. Yeah, it is a money grab, man, and they'll sneak in some infrastructure bill. Yeah, exactly. Cody Miller, 100% got to raise the funds, pay for the 87,000. You forgot a couple thousand there, Cody. Come on. I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, that's exactly what it is. And that's another thing too with that fucking bill that they passed. Just read the fine print, you guys. It's not taxing the fucking wealthy. You make under $200,000, your taxes just went up. Small business, your taxes just went up. Let me see here. But many of the LLCs are legal LLCs, don't pay tax, unemployment insurance, workers' comp. Many not coming in. They can get the money out of bigger companies. Yeah. Let me see here. Kyle Van Frank, midterms. Hopefully will turn out well. We need a massive change. Cali outbound rates have dropped from July, August. Not a lot of carriers want to go into Cali because of this. This business is being impacted by anything and everything from this administration to DC, and Cali is their puppet. Yeah, can't disagree with that at all, Kyle. And that's the thing, you guys, is at the end of the day, though, like what we talk about all the time is the freight's still going to move. We literally just need to find a solution because our customers are going to be out there doing that. Cody, actually, you know what? You need to become audit me then, because if you're going to mistake by a couple thousand, I'll fucking hopefully you'll do that in my favor. I'm just playing, brother. Let me see here. The next article is from my friends over at the JOC. This was written by Ari Ash. Ari Ash has a weekly Substack as well. I checked that out. Lack of parts labor to extend U.S. chassis shortage into 2024. North American chassis manufacturers have run into production delays in 2022 for the second consecutive year. Overwhelming U.S. import demand has outstripped the supply chain chassis throughout the last 2 years, from August 2020 to July of 22. Total containerized U.S. imports have topped 2.3 million TEUs in 21 of 24 months. Let me see here. Partly as a result of higher volume, shippers are holding on to chassis much longer than pre-pandemic averages. According to chassis lessors, however you want to, potato, putting additional pressure on equipment manufacturers to get more off of the assembly line. Despite the detrimental effect marine chassis shortages have on cargo flow, China International Marine Container, CIMC, the largest manufacturer in the world, has been forced to move a portion of its production facilities out of China in order to remain competitive in the U.S. market. Let me see. If we average 4 days on terminal and 4 days off terminal, and now off terminal portion goes to 12 days, there's a 16-day cycle on the chassis. It goes on to say other shippers are retrieving their containers from port of inland terminals and storing them in warehouse parking lots, which ties up chassis underneath the box. In many cases for 16 days or longer, thereby exacerbating the shortage of equipment needed to move containers off of the terminals. Yeah, this is another situation that, we're kind of finding ourselves in. And, again, I would go forward and read this article in full because there's a ton of good information in there. It goes on to pull Dave Manning. He's the CEO of North American Chassis Pool Cooperative, which owns and chassis manufacturer Pratt Intermodal said orders due to be delivered this year will be pushed to 2023, and orders for 23 will be pushed into next year. Nobody's hitting their targets. And, and that's, it's not funny, but it's also an example of, with me being at the Minnesota Trucking Association last week and talking to a guy who's selling, I know this isn't chassis, but this is trucks, that they're sold out. Like they're sold out through next year already. Like there's a 20-month delay on some of these things. It goes on to talk about subcomponents are in short supply, as well as the labor issues. And then it goes on to say that Pratt has had a tough time retaining its quality workforce, and many of these new employees the company hired in 2022 quit after completing their training, and longtime veterans have become weary of rejoining a sector that has a history of cutting jobs in the first sign of a downturn, and that our industry has become accustomed to hiring and laying off, a very cyclical industry. We only began gaining traction in July. And we talk about these jobs are guaranteed for the next 3 years. That's something people who've done this haven't ever heard of before. In a downturn, the bigger companies are the ones that suffer the most. Cat said our goal is in our dry van and chassis business that have been around for many ups and downs to maintain relatively level employment. Again, there's a lot of what we can take away from this, and talking about that again, it's got to be good as a opportunity for. If you're an employee out there and you don't want to get out there and start a company or anything like that, somebody's hiring. People are hiring. There's a lot of stuff that are out there. But again, like these are all challenges that you're going to be faced with as a sales rep when you're talking about that and selling the freight cycle of this. If you're doing import container loads and everything else, like tying up this chassis for an extended period of time, like, again, this is going to affect your business. And how do you navigate through this stuff? And again, it's always about just that brutal transparency in the market. Again, that was from Ari Ash at the JOC. Lack of parts, labor to extend U.S. chassis shortages into 2024. Let me see here. Yeah, Dennis Everett. Hit him up, you guys. He's an owner-op out of Sioux Falls. Likes to run the Midwest, South, and Southeast. Always looking for relationships. Cody, glad to see you hit him up there. Yeah, hit him up, Cody. PM him. Man, he's a good dude. I like Dennis a lot. Hit him up, you guys. And again, you guys, that's what it's all about. If you're an owner-op, you're a driver, a trucking company, put that shit in the comments. Put it out there where your trucks are, what equipment you have, where you're looking to go, and go out from there, man. And that's the whole point of this network. It's not only a media play here, you guys, but it's also a building a network of solid individuals. As you guys saw, giving some shout outs to some of my friends who are hiring as well. You guys, let's leverage each other. Let's utilize each other to continue to push this industry forward. The last article is from FreightWaves, and I know we're not going to have time to get into it all, but and it's titled "After an Unprecedented 2021, What Can the 3PL Industry Do for an Encore?" And then they talked with Armstrong and Associates and says 2022 will mostly follow in 21's footsteps. Let me see here. That the U.S. here's something that's encouraging. It's expected to post up $414.1 billion in 2022 gross revenue. There is a 22% gain from 21. And then let me see here. Domestic transportation DTM subgroup, which is of 4 subcategories of the Armstrong's 3PL world, says that will report a 25.6% gross revenue gain from 174.6 billion. And as always, you guys, gross revenue is not profit, so keep that in mind. It goes on to say that Armstrong said that he was surprised by the growth during the first half of the year. The numbers will normalize over the rest of 2022 as things start to ease up, and still any meaningful leveling off is a 2023 story, even if that happens then. Last year will be a tough act to follow. And again, you guys, like, as I don't know who has been saying this, but some guy up there who may or may not be wearing an orange shirt every day had said that literally 6 weeks ago, that it's going to stabilize. It's going to be a more normalization of it. And again, but it's good to see that out there. As always, you guys, I don't need to be right. We just need to find a solution. And it's good to see somebody like an Armstrong and Associates come out and say this. It's not all the doom and gloom talk that's out there about a freight drop. And again, it's just like the fuel. You can't celebrate or say that there's a massive drop when it was after a massive spike. And that's kind of how the freight market was over this, as we all know. Like, there was a massive spike. So if there is a drastic drop out there, You also got to like, this is the importance of data, and it's pulling this information to see like, all right, it's a stabilization. I'm not saying like the drop is a good thing or anything like that. I'm not saying that people aren't affected by this, but it's a stabilization of it. And this is just another pattern in the freight market that's out there, you guys. So again, that article was from Freight Waves. After an unprecedented 2021, what can the 3PL industry do for an Encore? That's it for today. Yeah, Dennis Bear Everett is a trucking legend. Amen. Amen to that. He is. That's it for today, you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. As always, the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation. We're live every single weekday. You guys all know that, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central. And just do me a favor. If you guys saw value in this, share the show. All right. That's how this is going to always continue to grow, you guys, is by each and every one of you guys sharing it out there to your network. Because if you see value in it, your network is going to see value in it as well. I appreciate you guys all so much. And we'll be talking.